Okay, and you've actually had practice with this before. I know you've seen this, but there's always a little bit of question like, what is that really? What is that really? So we're going to talk about the word digit. A digit is what? It's really kind of hard to define, but it's what? Yes, good. It's just one number. So my question to you is 12 a digit? No. 12 is a number that is composed of 2 digits, right? How many digits exist? Think before you shout out. There's more than 9. 10. Because of 0. Good. So our digits are one number only. And it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 9, right? Think about when you pick up a phone and you dial somebody's number. Is there a number 10 button on the phone? No. If you need to dial 10, you need to punch the 1 and the 0, right? Okay. So we're going to talk about single digit percents. We're going to talk about double digit percents. And then the dreaded triple digit percents. Okay? Single, double, triple. And then when we're done with this, I'll kind of create one more column. And it's going to be the percent with a decimal in it. So, let's start talking about, we know what percent means. It means out of 100. So, which one of these 3, if you had to vote, would be the easiest one to do? Yeah. I would think single. Single is usually the one that I find kids have the most trouble with. Single or actually triple. Double, right? Remember when I passed your quizzes out to you the other day and it said like 9 out of 12 or 11 out of 12 and somebody said, which I thought was kind of ironic, because we're smack dab in the middle of a percent unit. Somebody said, what percent did I get? I said, well, how can you figure it out? Pick up a calculator and do what? If you got 9 out of 12, you divide 9 divided by 12, and look what pops up on your calculator. What percent did you get? If you got 9, you got a 75%, right? Okay, so that's a double digit, right? So let's say that 75% is what I wrote on your paper, because this is what popped up on my calculator. So you agree with that, right? So double digit percents we're pretty used to. So like 89% is written how as a decimal? 0.89. Or technically, if you're being real fancy, like you should be, 89 hundredths, right? 75 hundredths, okay? So, 42%. We could do double-digit percents all day long. Piece of cake, right? All right. What if, I guess just for the heck of it, I started you out with this? Then what would you do and say that is as a percent, Nikolai? Yeah. Okay. So can we move on from double-digit percents? We're good? Okay. Let's talk about single-digit percents next, because those are probably the most common after that. So if we talk about sales tax in Michigan, you have to pay tax on the items that you purchase. Sales tax is 6%, and I like what Mason just said. He said sales tax is 6 cents on the dollar, which means for every dollar that your item costs, it's 6 cents. So everybody, for some reason, thinks that it's okay to write this as that. That's not 6 cents. That's 60 cents. So how should you remember to write single-digit percents? You always put a 0 in front of that. Okay? Yes. There you go. There's the eyes. So 6 cents is 0.06. Nicholas.
Will the following students please report to the office in the ballot? Lori McComb, Emily Cunningham, Chelsea Crane, Renee Daniels, and Cole Moss. Thank you.
Okay, Nicholas. Perfect timing.
Turning the percent into a decimal, you could just move the decimal over to the left.
Good. So here's what Nicholas was doing. While we were writing all these, he's kind of thinking in his head, you just did the same thing for all of these as you did for these. I think I know what to do when you have a percent. So let's keep going. But yes, you're absolutely right. So let's keep moving now. What if I had 9%? 9% is what? 900ths. I like it. What is 1%? You have 1% of the dollar. You have 0.01. Easy. So here's what I need you guys to do. When we are talking about a single digit percent, I need you to be really, really careful to make sure that you put that 0 in there before, okay? Please do not forget that 0 because then your answer will be a decimal place off. All right. Let's shift over to triple digit percents. Triple digit percent would be like having 120% of something, which we know right now after doing our first 2 learning targets, no big deal. It just means I got everything and a little more, right? Who has an idea of what that would be as a percent, though? So I'm going to guess triple digits, the trickiest one. Triple digit percent. What do you think, Ryan? Yes. Perfect. Did everybody hear what he said? 1.2. And you know what? That 0 after the decimal, very good. It doesn't have to be there. That's optional. So if you wanted to leave it off and just put 1.2, you're still talking about the same amount, right? Mason.
Do we have to put the 0 in front?
Great question. The only reason I put this 0 in front here, did everybody hear Mason's question? I have them here. I have them here. And you know what? That's the ones place. That's my whole numbers. And because these are double digit and single digit, all of these are less than 1 whole, right? So I kind of, putting the 0 here, I like to put it. It's not necessary. It's just kind of the right thing to do. Does a 0 belong here, though? No. So this is kind of a placeholder 0. I don't need it here in front because I got a 1. And in a triple digit percent, you're never going to need it because there's always going to be 1, right? Okay, so very good, Ryan. Let's take a look at this one. 152%. Who's got this one? And in a minute, I'm going to ask, what are we doing with this? Eric. Yes, exactly. 1.52 or technically 1 and 52 hundredths, right? And let's do one more. 107. 107%. Brian.
1.07.
Great. Okay. So now my question to you is, what did I do for all of these? Nicholas kind of said it a little earlier. He hinted around. So basically to go from a percent to a decimal, what do I do every single time without fail? Ian. How many? And how many? In what direction? Very good. Everybody hear what he said? He said you move the decimal over 2 to the left. You're multiplying. Basically, you are dividing by 100, right? So dividing by 100 moves it 2 to the left. So here's the deal. That might be kind of tricky. You don't see the decimals anywhere. And when you don't see a decimal, in what grade do you learn that it's right here? Right? Isn't the decimal right here? So watch what I do. If you have a different color in your notes, this would be helpful. 1, 2, there it is. 1, 2, 1, 2. You could do it for a couple of them. Okay, again, looks like little waves. In double digit percent, piece of cake, right? It's a little trickier in the single digit percents because when you go to move it over, you kind of run out of spaces, right? But that's okay, because what did we learn that you can do? Add a 0. Adding zeros don't really change anything here. So I ran out of places. Don't stop. Keep going. Move it 1 more and add your 0. That's where that came from, right? So single digit percents, that's why you guys have to add that 0 there, right? So then does it make sense for our triple digit percents to have a number in the first spot? I don't know why I did all 100s. What about having 586%? What would that be as a decimal? Yeah, 5 and 86 hundredths. Yeah. So basically, here's the decimal here, right? Good? And so then I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, no guesswork today. It's always going to be 2 to the left every time I give you the percent. So I want you to finish this sentence. Just kind of have to write over the bars there. To change a percent to a decimal, do what? Or sometimes visual people like this. Percent, arrow, decimal. Meaning change that percent into a decimal. Ian said it a couple minutes ago. You just do what? Move decimal 2 to the left. Good. Two places left. Okay? All right.